truly, as the Word of God says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. It's such a tragedy that so many people all over the world are doing those things, eating the wrong way, eating the wrong kinds of food, using the wrong combinations, not realizing that it's going to do just the opposite of what they really intend. I think most rational people want to live, and they'd like to live as long as they possibly can. And it's such a tragedy that we do things that accelerate us to the grave. We want to give thanks, tonight for what God has done and is doing for us in the person of Minister Cofer, and how well he has presented the subject of diet and healthful food products and products which are injurious without us even knowing it. It's one thing to go to the store and find things on the shelf that look like they're good to eat, only to discover that they're helping to put you in your grave. Such a tragedy. So we want to pay attention, pay close attention as Minister Cofer speaks to us tonight. And if you have questions, be sure to address your questions to him, put them in our question box, and we'll be sure to answer those questions for you. But above all, let's try to do those things which are right in God's sight. Let's not only go to the store and look at things on the shelves, but let's start to read the ingredients that are in those things on the shelves. Because many times the things we're eating are helping to shorten our lives. At this time, we're going to ask everybody to bow your heads for a moment of prayer. We're going to pray God to be with us in a very special way tonight, even as he has been in the previous nights. And we want to pray that other people will start to come and enjoy these meetings along with us. Let us just bow our heads for a moment. Our Father, which art in heaven, we do thank you for your great heart of love. We do thank you for doing everything you possibly can to help us to live longer, and not only to live longer, but to have eternal life itself. We thank you for the good foods that you have provided. We're sorry for the poor mixtures that human beings have concocted in order to make more money and at the same time help to shorten our lives. So Lord, open our eyes and help us to see the truth, help us to believe it, and help us to share it, and help us to try to bring others out to these meetings so that their lives can be spared, and they can also become instruments in God's hand to help others to see the truth for this present hour. Truth about eating and the truth about the power that's in thy word. Bless Pastor Cofer tonight as he speaks in a very special way. Put your spirit upon him, O God, and speak through him, and we'll give you the praise, honor, and glory. In Jesus' name we do pray. Amen.
Good evening again. Well, we can do a little bit better than that. Good evening. Good evening. Is God good to us? I'm not sure if you really believe that. Is God good to us? We should always be rejoicing and abounding in the goodness of the Lord. Today we want to go a little bit further than we have prior. Again, our elder is going to be here with us as we talk a little bit about these natural foods. Again, we have our beautiful health promoting table. Before we begin, does everyone have two handouts? If you do not have two handouts, raise your hand at this time to make sure that everyone has one. I see one hand in the back. Now we want to talk about this handout which deals with our natural remedies first. We want to deal a little bit with some practical things that afflict many, many people. As you see on our table, we have a wide variety of fruits and vegetables here. But I want to talk on the second page, on the bottom, it talks about the power of lemon. Now you see this lemon here. There's a few of them on our table here. How many know that this is a very powerful medicine? Most people look and they say lemon is just something good to put inside your drinks, or maybe to decorate something, or maybe to spice something up. But do you know that there are scientists now that are, like I've been saying every night, finding the truth of God's word, that God made these things and made them very good. Very good for what? Very good for maintaining health. And by maintaining health, I have the power to maintain health, they destroy disease. Most of your disease, all your infectious disease, they place them in those little glass dishes in scientific laboratories, place lemon juice inside there, and the lemon juice immediately kills these diseases. What disease? The flu, the common flu, tuberculosis, all these various things are killed by lemon juice. Now, if you would take doses of lemon juice, do you know how easy it would be for you to both boost your immune system and keep your blood, which we found yesterday according to Leviticus 17:11, the blood is where our life is. It would give life to the blood and promote disease destruction and health promotion. We have on our handout there, it says the power of the lemon. Now under that is a big word called halitosis. Halitosis is when we have offensive odor from our breath. Sometimes we may eat something that may not be altogether right, or sometimes we may have indigestion in the stomach, and it actually gives an odor to our breath even from the stomach. But especially when you're talking about the teeth or something inside the mouth, do you know that taking a little bit of lemon will allay that odor? It'll actually take it out of the mouth. It'll actually pull the odor out. It says in Job 17:1, it says, "My breath is corrupt, my days are extinct, and the graves are ready for me." But it says, gargle with 1 tablespoon of lemon juice and spit it out. And it removes garlic and onion odor from the breath, and many other types of odors, especially if something is going on in your teeth. Maybe you have food caught between your teeth and it's starting to break down. Lemon will pull that odor out. Also, sometimes you can just take the rind, the peeling of lemon, and just chew it, and it will actually destroy odors in the mouth very, very quickly. Just like some people use parsley, lemon is very, very effective. Sometimes women have morning sickness. When they're having children, a lot of times in the mornings they wake up and they'll be nauseous. I've worked with many, many women that had morning sickness until they found out about the simple lemon remedy that I use so much. And I shared that with them, and on waking up in the morning, they would get up in the morning, they squeeze half a lemon, or just a little bit of lemon, in some water before they even had the morning sickness or when they had the morning sickness. And as soon as they drink or sip on that lemon, it really quickly removes the nausea. The feeling of nauseousness and so on that usually accompanies pregnancy in the morning will quickly go away. And sometimes people don't even have morning sickness, but lemon is very, very good for removing the feeling of nausea. On your other side is something called nature's penicillin. Now we have some of the ingredients here. We have the lemon, we have the orange. I thought we had a grapefruit here somewhere. I'm not sure where it may have went to. Someone might have eaten it the other day. But we have a number of things on here which makes what I call a nature's penicillin. Again, we're in cold and flu season. And this nature's penicillin is one of the greatest ways to avoid disease. Do you know, some years ago, a couple of decades ago, there was a medical doctor that did studies. What he did is he took vitamin C. He took vitamin C and he put it in an IV drip. You know what an IV drip? You go to the hospital and they give you an IV to hydrate you or put some kind of fluid in your body. It's a little bag, has a little tube. It goes into a needle, and the needle goes into the vein and brings it into the system to do something. He put vitamin C in certain dosages in an IV drip and gave it to individuals over a period of time. Now, at this time, no one was doing that. But do you know that scientifically he had proven, him and his colleagues, because people did it after him as well, that he was able to destroy hepatitis C, the common cold, most all your viral diseases that were prominent that day, he was able to destroy them quickly with large doses of vitamin C in an IV drip. Now, you can get an IV drip in the hospital today. It's not very common, but you can actually request it. But he started this decades ago. And how many of you have heard that some of these diseases that we think can't be avoided or can't be cured can be dealt with simple vitamin C? Now, you may not have to go to the hospital and get an IV drip to do that, but you know what vitamin C is? Right in these fruits and vegetables that you have in your home. I'm going to show you how to prepare a high vitamin C, high disease-destroying, high viral-destroying paste or food called nature's penicillin. It's right here on your sheet.
Pastor Cofer,
Go right ahead.
I have a question. Is there a possibility that lemons and lemon juice and orange juice can be used to facilitate removal of waste from the body?
Oh, very much so. As a matter of fact, all your fruits are fruits and vegetables have a cleansing effect on the body. You're going to find that as you start to eat more fruits and vegetables, remember yesterday we talked about how the refined foods will clog up the body. your body is a system of tubes. In other words, when you look at your mouth, you have a tube, and it goes down. You have an esophagus, you have a colon. And you also have an air passageway which goes into the lungs. There's passages inside the lungs, and that the lungs have veins that feed that. And there's veins and arteries and capillaries running all over your body, tubes everywhere. Now, if you eat a refined diet, and yesterday we showed you how a lot of that white flour and white sugar, how it's just like, it becomes like a glue. What do you think that does to the tube system of your body? And if you have, say you have a car, and the fuel line becomes clogged with whatever it may be, how effective is that car going to run? Not very effective. Same with your body. When you have clogged arteries, it tends to cause a heart attack or it causes a stroke. When you have arteries that are breaking down and they're slowly closing, in other words, if you have an artery or capillary or vein or whatever, and it's supposed to be this wide, this is the aperture, and it starts to be caked with refined foods and fats and oils and so on and so forth, then as it slowly closes down and becomes caked and the aperture becomes smaller, the pressure that your heart had to exert to push blood through there when it was this big, say for instance it was 5 pounds, just for the sake of a measurement, 5 pounds. Now, as this aperture, this hole becomes smaller, do you need more pressure to push it through or less? So you need more pressure to push the blood through the arterial bloodway because of the way you eat, and it's called high blood pressure. Not just that, also if you don't drink enough water, enough fluid, not soda, not Sprite, not Mountain Dew, not Dr. Pepper, not Coke, not High C, water. If you don't drink enough water, your blood, which should be a certain consistency, a certain viscosity, it becomes very, very thick. And again, it takes more pressure to push thicker blood through the veins, and you have high blood pressure. If you have stress, and I'm coming to your question. Okay. If you have stress, when you have stress, someone frightens you, or you have anger or worry, which was on our handout the other day, your body contracts, it constricts, which again causes the blood passageways to close down, which means it takes more pressure for you to push the blood through, which causes high blood pressure. Stress, not drinking water, diet causes high blood pressure. But eating these type of foods helps remove the plaque and the buildup that's in those arterial passageways. It helps cleanse out the colon, the arteries, the veins, all the different tube systems of the body is cleansed by taking fruits and vegetables. Not just the fiber, but even the healing chemicals that are in these foods. The chemicals that make this so bright orange and this so bright yellow are also healing. When God, as we're going to find out when we go to our lesson, when God made the world, He made all these things for man. Yes, there are parrots and dogs and cats and so on, but the earth was not given to the monkey. It was given to who? To man. To man. All things were for Him. All things were to minister happiness to Him. And even the air and the sunshine and even the trees would administer life. There's life in these things. That's not God. God is not in here. This is not God. God is nowhere inside here. But God has given life to these things. As man partakes of them, they give life. If man separates himself from them, then slowly the life force that's in him starts to die out. So yes, when you eat these foods, it cleanses out the body. Just the same food that God gave to maintain man when He made him perfectly, as man partakes of these food, it restores health, it cleanses, it strengthens back the body that has been abused. So yes, it does.
Another question. Since the fruits are so good for us and to help eliminate the waste that are in the body, is it wise to eat fruit and vegetables at the same meal?
Generally not. Now, some people may not seem to feel or experience some problem with that, but fruits and vegetables generally do not digest well together. One night, especially when we start getting into our second week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, when we have our big our big cooking demonstration and our big taste test where we'll be feeding all of you, we're going to be talking about fruits and vegetables and food and what is good food and what combinations of food also can cause problems. And you're going to find that even though fruits and vegetables in and of themselves are good, but fruits and vegetables together are not the best thing to do. Why? Because when you have, say for instance, broccoli, and an orange, these two are made a little differently. They both provide health to the body, but there's some foods that go better with this, and some foods that go better with this. But these two together, they tend to cause your body to have what is called putrefaction. In other words, if you eat something, say you eat some broccoli, and you ate this broccoli, and some time went by, and you said, well, this broccoli or this meal I had with broccoli, I feel a little bit more hungry, so I'm going to maybe an hour later eat an orange. When you eat that orange, the digestion that was started on this broccoli or this meal with broccoli stops, and now it starts on the orange. So this first meal, the digestion has stopped and it starts to sit in that hydrochloric acid as the enzymes and various things start to work on the orange. As it sits there, putrefaction starts. It starts to go bad in your stomach. That's when you start to have gas, you start to belch, you start to have all these various signs that something is going wrong inside there. Fruits and vegetables together tend to do that too. They tend to, because this one, the fruit tends to have more sugar, it tends to be less dense as fiber content, it tends to be digested quicker, and when you have this type of fiber breakdown, this type together, it doesn't work very well. Usually it causes some type of indigestion. So it's best to separate these two healing foods and have foods that you build around a fruit and foods you build around a vegetable. They're both healing, they're both good, but Ecclesiastes says there's a time and a season for everything, even using these healing foods.
Thank you, Elder Cofer.
Okay, I want to just make another comment when you talk about this recipe. Quickly, let's look at this recipe, and then we can just deal with one more thing, and then we'll go into our message. We want to spend more time dealing with the message we have from the Lord's Word. Nature's penicillin. Now, what you need for this, you need a blender, because you want to blend these various items. You want to have one grapefruit, and that grapefruit is going to be a medium size, not a very large grapefruit, but a medium to small grapefruit. 1 orange, 2 lemons, 3 cloves of garlic, and we see garlic here. 3 cloves of garlic, 1/2 of a large onion. This would be a large onion, so 1/2 of the size of an onion. And the last thing is optional. You don't need to have that, but if you go to the health food store and you can find peppermint oil, you're looking for peppermint essential oil. Why do I say peppermint essential oil? Because there's many types of oils out there, and some of the oils are extracted with alcohol. And we don't want you to have an essential oil that has something in it that's going to destroy your liver, destroy your white blood cells, destroy your brain cells. We don't believe in extracting using alcohol. So we're talking about an essential oil, which is a pure oil that's extracted maybe with glycerin or something like that, but it's a pure oil. And it's optional. You don't have to use that, but if you can get a hold of it, peppermint is very, very good for this remedy. It says cut the fruit in pieces with the onion and place it in the blender and just put a little amount of water. Usually the fruit has enough water to blend and make a paste-like consistency. But if you need to, just add a little bit of water at a time as it blends. And it says going on, add the peppermint last. An adult wants to take maybe about a cup a day. Now this is if you're sick. Generally you don't need this if you're not sick. But generally if you have, I've used this and I've seen it work as I've traveled with different people that have used it for people that have had any type of viral problem, like say they have the common cold or flu. I've seen people that have had an abscess on their tooth and it got very infected, and that's an infection that was so bad that they were having shivering and chills, and by taking nature's penicillin for a couple days with some water and rest, quickly it took away the symptom. It is a very, very good viral killer, very good for infections, and on and on and on. There's so much that it can do. It's like having a natural antibiotic without getting the effects of antibiotics. We talked the other day that sometimes in a case of an emergency, you might be in a situation where someone would have to give you an antibiotic. That may come to pass. However, if you are able to take charge of your health as you understand the Word of God, you may not have to use any kind of medication like that. Antibiotics, we talked about the word antibiotic meaning anti or against or destroying, and biotic meaning life. It destroys life. It destroys bacteria, viruses, everything. It destroys the healthy bacteria as well as the bad bacteria. Usually you destroy the virus at first, but it also leaves your body open because it kills everything for later infections because it destroys everything out of your gut. You start to have diarrhea and so on. Using nature's penicillin gives you the effect of destroying the viruses without the secondary illnesses that come from using man-made medicines. Lastly, you notice right above there, it says a remedy for menstrual cramping pain. A lot of women are more prone to use natural remedies. So I try to focus sometimes on certain remedies that are specifically for women. I know that there's a lot of individuals that, because of not understanding the correct principles of diet, they have a lot of problems every month. Now, I can almost prophesy, if you will, not because of some kind of spiritual power, but because of just seeing it over and over in all 50 states, what type of diet a woman that I meet or calls me or needs a consultation, and let's give you an example. This woman will have, every month she has very, very bad menstrual pain. She usually will have fibroid tumors. She usually has hormonal imbalance, and she has a lot of different problems with weight, excess weight and so on, and she doesn't know what to do. She's been suffering for a long period of time. She wants relief. Usually when I talk to her, I ask her a couple questions. I said, let me ask you a question. Do you generally eat a lot of protein, whether it be animal source or beans or whatever it may be, but a lot of protein, especially fried foods? Do you eat a lot of caffeine, like say chocolate and so on? And do you have a lot of sugar in your diet? 99.9% of the time, the answer is yes to all 4 signs. I've never met someone that I've worked with to try and help them with fibroid tumors and hormonal imbalance and so on that don't usually have at least 3 of these 4. Caffeine, whether it's chocolate or sodas or whatever it may be, high protein, fried foods, high sugar. Those 4 are a remedy for breast cancer and all the various cancers, fibroid tumors and the whole thing in all women, whether white or black, especially Latino. If you have those 4 things, you're on your way to cancer. And on the way, you have these signs of problems. Now, as we are learning how to deal with the whole problem, I want to give this simple remedy or these simple remedies of how to deal with pain. A lot of times, the cramping pain comes from congestion. The blood starts to pool in the uterus, and that pooling of blood presses against nerves and various different things that cause this pain. So how do you remove it? Comfort tea. Number one, comfort tea. What is comfort tea? It says boil some hot water. Take a teacup and add 1 heaping tablespoon of blackstrap molasses. We heard about that the other day. Unsulfured blackstrap molasses is the best. So take this heaping tablespoon of blackstrap molasses, place it inside that teacup of hot water, a small amount of cayenne pepper, not too much. You want to pour that hot water into the cup, stir that up very well, and squeeze some fresh lemon into that cup and drink it as warm as possible. I've seen comfort tea generally bring results within 5 minutes in some cases. Now, if it doesn't bring results, it must be a more serious situation, and then I would use step 2. Usually I use both steps anyway, but generally 5 to 10 minutes comfort tea works because, number one, a lot of times hormonal imbalance causes the situation that causes the pain. And blackstrap molasses has a lot of calcium and magnesium and all these various different minerals that help balance a woman's hormones that causes the problem to balance itself out. Especially the lemon brings it into the bloodstream very quickly. The cayenne causes it to circulate very quickly. All the different aspects, the hot water, all bring it to a quick remedy. Also, a hot foot bath. Now, how many know what a hot foot bath is? A couple people. Now, if you were over 50 or so, you probably have had a hot foot bath before. It's a very, very old remedy. Basically, all it is putting your feet in hot water. As you put your feet in the hot water, and we all know that the feet, generally your feet are warm, your whole body's warm, right? When you put your feet in hot water, it causes the circulation to start pulling down to the feet, and as your heart throws the blood out, because your heart pumps your blood out, pumps it out. It pumps it out to the toes, to the head, to the fingers. Now, sometimes people have problems with it coming back. They have poor circulation. You put your feet in that hot water, the hot water helps that turnaround of the blood coming back to the heart, because the heart's going to throw the blood out, otherwise you're dead. If you're alive, the heart's pumping, it's flowing out blood. As you put your feet in the hot water, it's going to throw back the blood quicker and quicken the circulation. As that circulation is quicker and it's sending that blood back quicker, then it's hard for any blood to pool in the uterus. It pulls the excess blood of the uterus, thereby removing the pressure on nerves and various organs, and it removes the pain. Generally, these two together works in 80% of your cases with problems with menstrual situation, unless someone has a very serious condition, and we'll talk about that at another time. But these simple remedies, I want you to take home and try them. You will find that most of the remedies I have here, are things that you eat anyway. I hope so. It's very difficult for you to go home and hurt yourself with this. It's hard for you to hurt yourself with one of these. Now, you get a medication, you can hurt yourself with medication. It's hard to hurt yourself with one of these. You can try this. You can do this. You can go home and take charge of your health as a Christian today by using these simple remedies. Are you thankful for this sheet today?
Yes, indeed.
Amen. We want to go to our board tonight. And thank you again. Did you have another question, Elder?
No,
okay. Well, we look for you on our next night, which is going to be Saturday night. Tonight we have a message, as I promised, dealing with the gospel of health. Do you know that when we look at the Word of God, as we have night after night, we found that God's Word shows us that God had a perfect plan for man. Man is not perfect. Man is not getting better, as science says. He's not evolving into something better. Man has fallen. As a matter of fact, if you look at your second handout very quickly, we're going to look at this maybe a couple times tonight. It talks about superacidity. Do you know that the foods that we talked about on last night, the various different sugary foods and the different things that were refined, the things that would cause problem with your body, those things cause acidity. If you look at the different foods and things that are on the different sides there, it talks about tea and coffee, which are high in caffeine, which is an addictive drug. Liquor or alcohol, soda, high sugar drinks, all alcoholic stimulants. On the other side, sweets, overeating, fried foods, too much grain or protein products, and wrong proportions of food. All these things that we commonly partake of, causes our blood and our tissues and our body to be acidic. What do I mean acidic? What's acidity in the body? You know, if you have arthritic pain or your joints hurt, that's acidity. Gout, that's acidity. It's all these various poisons in your body accumulating in places because you're feeding and contributing to toxemia, poisoning yourself. If you went right home tonight and you went and took a pill or something like that, or a whole bunch of pills, and you died immediately, the doctor would come, the coroner would pronounce you dead, and they say that you would die, you had committed suicide, and you had poisoned yourself. And they'll say, well, it's a tragedy, this person must have had some terrible things in their life, and we don't know what caused them to do that, but they poisoned themselves and they're dead. However, if you eat in a way that we see on this chart here and get the disease that we see on this chart here, causing premature aging and premature death, you are slowly poisoning yourself. And over a period of time, eventually, because of the way you're poisoning yourself, you will what? Die. And the coroner will come to your house and look at you and say, okay, well, let's look at this. Oh, he died of natural causes. Now, is that natural causes? If you kill yourself slowly over a slow period of time, or if you kill yourself quickly, is it still suicide? It very much is. And God's law says, thou shalt not kill. We need to understand that when we talk about being a Christian and we talk about the law of God, God's law that the new covenant promise says is going to write that law in our hearts, is not just talking about me trying not to kill you, but are you killing yourself? The Bible